Hello, I'm Raphael, and I'm going to show you my classic magic card deck. Alright, taking it out of its really special case. So the first thing we have here is Kismet, and special, it's 4 mana, and it says artifacts, creatures, and lands target player controls come into play tapped. My second card is, of course, Fireball. It's a very good classic card. It's 1 mana plus however other manas you want to pay, and you pay 1 additional mana for each target beyond the first. Fireball deals X damage, divided evenly, rounded down, among any number of target creatures or players. Here we have Mountain Yeti, another classic. It's a 3/3 for 5 mana. It has Mountain Walk and protection from white. Curd Apes, very good card if you're playing a forest red mixed deck. It's 1 mana for a 1/1, but while the controller has a forest in the play, Curd Ape gains +1/+2. Very good card. Here we have Stream of Life, probably one of the best cards in the game. It costs 1 mana plus however many additional mana you want to play, and you gain life based on how many additional mana you play. We have a Plains. Halls of Mist. This is a very interesting card. It says it's a land, but you need to pay 1 mana each turn. But the ability is no creature can attack if it attacked during its controller's last turn. This is good if you just want to stall time so you can build up your defenses or cast other spells without the worry of your opponent being able to attack you. Wall of Wood, another one of my favorites. It's 1 mana for 0/3. Doesn't have any abilities, but it's a quick way to defend yourself. Forest. Blazing Salvo deals 3 damage to target creature unless that creature's controller has Blazing Salvo deal 5 damage to him or her. And it's 1 mana, so pretty much it's guaranteed that unless your opponent has a healing deck, that Blazing Salvo is going to deal 5 damage to target creature. Shatter. It's 2 mana, and it destroys a target artifact. Nice simple card, good if you're playing an artifact deck or just need to get a quick artifact out of the way. Here we have a Plains. Here we have a Mountain. Scribe Sprites. It's a very, very, very simple, annoying card if you have a nuisance deck. It's 1 mana for a 1/1 with flying. Very simple. So yeah. Scent of Jasmine. It's one of the best cards I have in here. It's nice and simple. It's 1 mana, and you reveal any number of white cards in your hand, and you gain 2 life for each card revealed this way. So if you're in a quick fix and you just need to get out of it, you just play this card. Here's a Plains. We have a snow-covered mountain. I just threw it in there because I needed an extra mountain. Icatian Javelineers. Love this card. It's 1 mana for a 1/1, and when it is brought into play, you put a javelin counter on it, and you tap it to remove the javelin counter and have card deal 1 damage to any target. Land Leeches. 3 mana for a 2/2 with first strike. Just a filler card I put in there. Plains. Another Curd Apes. Orcish Veteran. It's 3 mana for a 2/2, and it cannot be assigned to block any white creature of power greater than 1. But the reason I have it in my deck is because you pay 1 mana, and it gains first strike until end of turn, and that's handy if you're in a sticky situation. Rith's Grove. This is an interesting card. It says that it's a layer in addition to its land type. Now, I haven't looked at the rules, but I really don't remember what a layer is. I don't know if it adds any abilities to it or anything. The thing is with this one, you have to sacrifice it unless you return a non-layer, which is pretty much a basic land, back to your hand. The cool thing about this is you can tap it to add either a fire mana, green mana, plains mana to your deck. Kind of said that weird. Red, green, and white mana to your mana pool. So, it's handy. Here's a mountain. Another curd ape. Thallid. This is one of the original first Thallids. I know that they have decks of these things now, and they're very good together. It's 1 mana for a 1/1, and during your upkeep you put a spore counter on Thallid. Then, for 0 cost, you remove 3 spore counters and put a Saproling token into play, and you treat this token as a 1/1 green creature, so that's very handy. Another Scribe Sprites, another Rith's Grove. This card, I think, has the coolest art of any card I've ever seen, ever. Indestructible Aurora. It's 1 plains. Any damage dealt to target creature for the rest of the turn is reduced to 0. So that's pretty good. Here we have a mountain, forest, a plains, another forest, another plains, Asmira Holy Avenger. It's 4 mana. It's a 2/3 with flying. At the end of the turn, you put a 1/1 counter on it for each creature put into the graveyard from play that turn. So it's pretty good. It's really interesting cover art. Kind of like, I feel like it's a cathedral or something, but yeah. Disintegrate, another good card for wreaking havoc. It's 1 mana plus however many mana you wish to pay additionally. And it deals X damage to target creature or player. That creature cannot regenerate this turn. If the creature is dealt lethal damage this turn, remove it from the game. It's pretty good. Stang, one of my favorites just because of his name. 6 mana, and it's a 3/4. And the cool thing about this is when it comes into play, you put a twin of it, a twin of Stang into play, but if either one is to leave play or be destroyed, they're both destroyed. So it has its drawbacks. Here we have another Stream of Life. An active volcano. I personally love the simple cover art for this. It's 1 mana. You destroy target blue permanent or return target island to owner's hand. And it's an instant, so you can play it anytime you want. Here we have a remedy. 2 mana, and you prevent the next 5 damage this turn, divided any way you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. So for a plains and another mana, it's pretty good. Here we have a Feralite Priest. It's 2 plains and 1 colorless. And for 1 mana, you add a plains to your mana pool. You can play this ability as an interrupt. And if more than 3 mana is spent this way during 1 turn, you have to bury Feralite Priest at the end of the turn. And it's a 1/3. Dust to Dust. It's good if you're playing an artifact deck. It's 2 plains and 1 colorless, and you remove 2 target artifacts from the game. Here's one of my favorites in this deck, Northern Paladin. It's 2 plains and 2 colorless, and it's a 3/3, and you can pay 2 plains and tap it to destroy a black card in play, but you can't use it to interrupt a spell that is being cast. But still, this is a really, really good card. And I actually like the cover work. He makes them look very heroic. I don't know if you can see. Here we have one of the original Archangel cards. One of the original Angel cards, actually. It's 2 plains and 5 colorless. It has flying. It's a 5/5, and it has vigilance, but it says it in a weird way. It says attacking does not cause Archangel to tap. So it's pretty much saying vigilance in like old mumble jumble, as they usually do. Here we have a Wall of Heat. It's 1 fire and 2 colorless for a 2/6. That's not bad. I've used this to get out of a bunch of tight situations before. Here we have a Plains. Order of Lietber. It's 2 plains. It has protection from black. It's a 2/1. Pay 2 plains and you can put, it gets +1, +0 until end of turn. If you pay another plains, however, it gains first strike until end of turn. So it's just a nice little cheap card to have in there. Then we have Brushland. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Add either a plains or a forest to your mana pool, but it deals 1 damage to you. So I mainly just use this for the colorless mana. And here we have a mountain, another mountain, forest, another forest, another forest, Jesus, I didn't shuffle, a plains, Quirion Elves. It's 1 forest and 1 colorless. It's a 1/1, and when you play Quirion Elves, choose a color, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of the chosen color to your mana pool. You can play this ability as a mana source, and you can tap it again to add 1 green mana to your mana pool. You can play this ability also as a mana source. Aliban's Tower. It's 1 mountain and 1 colorless, and target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. It's a target blocking creature, sorry. So it's good if you're blocking something with first strike, so creature won't die. Hopefully, I mean, if you get your deck up to epic proportions, it might not be the case. And lastly, nice simple card, Lance. And it's 1 plains, and target creature gains first strike. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's very simple. And yeah, that's my deck. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Alright, bye.